The Society Islands are an archipelago located in the South Pacific Ocean. Politically, they are part of French Polynesia, an overseas country of the French Republic. Geographically, they form part of Polynesia. The archipelago is believed to have been named by Captain James Cook during his first voyage in 1769. Supposedly in honor of the Royal Society, the sponsor of the first British scientific survey of the islands. However, Cook wrote in his journal that he called the islands Society, as they lay contiguous to one another. The first Polynesians are understood to have arrived on these islands around 1000 AD. The islanders explain their origins in terms of a myth. The feathered god Tairua lay in his shell. He called out but no one answered, so he went back into his shell, where he stayed for eons. When he came out, he changed his body into the multi-layered dome of the sky. Other parts of his body he transformed into Papa Fenwa, the earth. Other parts he made into Te Ituma, the Ata, or shadow of his phallus. Tairua said, "Cast your eyes on my phallus. Gaze upon it and insert it in the earth." He came down to earth at Opoa in Hawaii, one of the most sacred places in the Society Islands. Other gods were created, and these ran directly into the time of the people. The high chiefs or Aroi Rehi were descendants from the gods, reckoned to be 40 generations previously. In their presence, commoners showed respect by stripping to the waist the high chiefs erected marae as places of worship. In the generations before Europeans arrived, a cult called Oromaro Ura developed, the cult of the red-feathered girdle. This became a tangible symbol of the chief's power. Key followers of the Oro cult were the Aroi, who lived separately from the common people. They wore scented flowers and adorned themselves with scents and scarlet-dyed cloth. The head of each Aroi group was heavily tattooed from ankle to thigh and known as a blackleg. Both male and female blacklegs were a privileged group, but they were forbidden to have children. Their babies were all killed at birth. They received and gave lavish presents. They had a wide range of artistic skills and could be priests, navigators and law specialists. Only good-looking men or women could become Aroi. They played a crucial role in ceremonies associated with birth, deaths and marriage. 23 to 28 in 1767, HMS Dolphin, sailing under Captain Samuel Wallis, landed on Tahiti. The captain and crew were quite sick with scurvy on arrival and were keen to obtain fresh food. Europeans quickly found that the islanders were desperate to obtain iron, which was prized for use in woodworking and as fish hooks. The sailors found that young women and girls were eager to exchange sex for a nail. The islanders were delighted at the abundance of iron on the ship and tried to board the ship in search of iron. Wallis reported that he shot cannon to maintain control of his vessel and the iron on board. 39 to 47, Louis de Bougainville, a French nobleman, sailor and soldier, left France on his circumnavigation of the globe in 1766. By the time he reached the Society Islands in 1768, his crew was stricken with scurvy. Despite the crew being twice as numerous as that of the Dolphin, the islanders had sufficient food to trade their surplus for axes, knives and other iron goods. 90 to 96, James Cook arrived in Tahiti in April 1769. Between 1772 and 1775, the Viceroy of Peru, the Spaniard Manuel Amat y Jr., organized 3 expeditions to the Society Islands. Having news of James Cook's expedition and fearing a British colonization of the island, he ordered a first expedition under the command of the Spanish sailor Domingo de Bonchia, with Thomas Gallegos as assistant, aboard the frigate Aguila. In the second expedition, Domingo de Bonchia and José Andia y Varela, aboard the ships Aguila and Jupiter, recognized or discovered a dozen islands between the archipelagos of Tuamotu and the Austral Islands, and established a mission in Tahiti, which lasted only a couple of years. Domingo de Bonchia, whose health was weakened, died during this expedition. The islands became a French protectorate in 1843 and a colony in 1880 under the name of French Establishments of Oceania. The islands are divided, both geographically and administratively, into 2 groups. They have a population of 275,918 inhabitants. They cover a land area of 1,590 square kilometers. The Society Islands are a tropical South Sea archipelago of volcanic origin. They represent the most economically important of the 5 archipelagos of French Polynesia. The highest point is Mount Orohena, which reaches 2,241 meters, located on the island of Tahiti. The population of the islands is concentrated in the coastal regions and becomes increasingly sparse towards the mountainous center of the islands. The main island of Tahiti, where 50% of the inhabitants live, is also home to the capital of French Polynesia, the city of Papeete. The